Smart 24, driving business.
Hello there and a very warm welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back from Smart Means Business. A very good morning to you. And of course, this is Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. At Smart 24 TV, we mean business 24 hours, 7 days a week. And of course, on the show here, Financial Markets, we get to focus mainly on trading in stocks, trading in cryptocurrencies, forex trading, and all matters concerning financial markets, both local and global financial markets. My name is Anthony, and I am your host. Today, I have a very special co-host, and that is none other than Awesome. She will be joining us as well for this particular edition of Financial Markets. Now, remember, to be part of the show, you can also go to our social media at Smart24 TV now on Twitter and get to, of course, follow us there and link up with us and, of course, give us some feedback. Today, in a special way, we are looking at different angles of the financial markets. We want to, of course, get to the bottom and build something. Because financial markets in Uganda, if you can, of course, tell from the number of people who really get to give financial markets time and attention, there's a lot more work to do. And even you, my viewer, you can agree with me, there are questions that you have that haven't been answered so far, much as, of course, you've been able to see some of the fluctuations in prices of stocks. You've been able to see some of the differences, for example, in the global and local markets. But you probably have questions about our local market. You have questions about what financial markets products can I access from Uganda? What are some of the limiting factors that are holding us back from investing, and how can we address some of those? Now, joining me today on set to discuss this and more is none other than Mr. Chikomeko Rodney, who is the Chief Financial Officer at Dollar Bill Traders. Dollar Bill Traders is a company that was started by him and a couple of other young people to help Ugandans and, of course, other people invest in financial markets. You're most welcome, Mr. Chikomeko, on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate. My name's Chikomeko Rodney, and I'm the CFO of Dollar Bill Traders Limited, a company that was started with a group of individuals, colleagues, friends, that are active traders in the financial markets. Basically, the purpose of the company was to try to tackle financial illiteracy, mainly in the financial industry, because we do believe one of the limiting factors of the development of the private sector is the failure to have the actual knowledge on how to capitalize on financial markets. There is a lot of misleading information that is out there that I know people are falling victims of. And we do believe by trying to put up institutions and educational programs that try to enlighten people on how to better handle their finances, money management, and also having an idea about the different savings options present currently is the core source to trying to eradicate poverty in Africa. So me and my colleagues started up a program that is called My Money, which is an educational program that mainly tackles financial illiteracy. Yes, please.
Wow.
All right, so Mr. Rodney,
Yes.
There are various youth out there who really don't know what you mean by financial markets, and we have looked at globally, we have looked at different financial markets like the stock market, we have looked at the forex markets. So
Yes.
could you tell us about the types of financial markets that you deal with,
Okay, generally I'll first perhaps try to give you an insight on generally what financial markets are. And mainly when you talk about financial markets, you're dealing with marketplaces where you're having the buying and the selling, active buying and selling of financial securities in different markets. Now, these are some of the categories that I can give you an insight on. First of all, you have to pay attention to the largest market, which is the foreign exchange market, with a daily volume of about 6.6 trillion in trading volume. So under the foreign exchange market, you're having the buying and the selling of currencies.
Are those $1 trillion, trillion?
Trillion US dollars,
wow,
actively every single day. So I'm trying to show you how liquid these markets are, and these are mainly global markets. Okay. Then we have the bond exchange market, which is very, very common in Uganda. Majority of the people do not know that actively, actually, they are involved in financial markets. They just do not have an insight or an understanding about some of these things. So we have the bond exchange market, which mainly works in favor to the government and to the general public, because under the bond exchange market, you're having the public pulling funds and they are buying bonds from the government, which in turn help facilitate different projects for the government. And in return, after a specified period, you're able to get back your money plus an interest. Then also we have the stock exchange market, one market that I feel that has been really hindered from growing and developing in Uganda, simply because there is lack of information and also proper educational structure for people to learn the right way. I do believe failure for Ugandans to take advantage of this virgin industry is because of lack of this knowledge and also the capital. But mainly it's about the knowledge. Then also we have the commodity exchange market, which has to do with trading of metals and energies. And we have also the cryptocurrency market that has had so many question marks globally, but only because of ignorance. There is no problem with the crypto space. It's just because people lack the actual information that is sufficient enough for them to be profitable in these markets. Yes, please.
All right. So, what could be limiting like these stock markets in Uganda? Like, what could be limiting us, and what could be the possible solution to it? Okay. Because, for example, in Uganda we have like around 130 traders under the Uganda Securities Exchange.
Yes.
And in Nairobi we have over 6 million traders.
Yes.
So what could be the reason?
Okay, the very one thing that I'll first highlight out will be the regulatory proceedings. We do not have trading of financial markets, especially the foreign exchange market by retail traders. It is not regulated by CMA. So why you're having such numbers for Kenya, it's because CMA regulates, and their regulatory proceedings or policies that govern the trading of financial markets, mainly the foreign exchange market by retail traders. Other markets are regulated, like the stock exchange market, if you trade unit trusts, these are all under financial markets. But the regulations or the licenses are given to specific asset managers. I can give you an enlightenment to some of them, like Britam, ICEA, you're having UAP, Zeno. These are some of asset managers that are licensed to pull funds from the general public, but mainly to invest in safe assets. So you'll find them pulling funds under unit trust funds, and in turn they channel the money to bonds. They buy government bonds, and these are safe assets. But also they give access to individuals that want to do a certain level of private wealth management. And here you'll have portfolios of different investors exposed to a bit of more risky, but also a bit of more profitable market spaces like the stocks and maybe also the foreign exchange markets. Then also I'll enlighten people also on the challenge of a lack of educational structures, as I said earlier on, that are really limiting people from getting the actual information that is quite sustainable and which is correct for them to be consistently profitable in this market. So it is one of these issues that made us start up the educational program called My Kamani in our company, Dollar Bill Traders, to try to teach people the right thing and the right way on how to capitalize on the markets locally and also globally. Also, the other key factor is a lack of liquidity in the markets. A lack of liquidity in the markets. The markets are global markets, one of the advantages they have over us is that they pull in large sums of money from what we call institutional traders. The institutional traders are the reason as to why we have active movement on the fluctuations in the market. And one of the things that attracts institutional traders is the performance of some of the assets that are being traded. I'll give you an example. I had so many individuals, private investors, giving me a phone call when MTN listed its shares. And one of the things that I was putting across is MTN having actual feasible developments out there that are going to give like a fuel for the shares to perform.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing that we see Elon Musk doing with Tesla, Tesla does not pay dividends to shareholders. It does not. The policy that is there is that they reinvest the money. But he promises that the stock for the company will perform.
Yeah.
And over the years, we have seen the Tesla stock perform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than getting a dividend, I would rather go in for the equity for the company because I know it performs. Now, when it comes to the stocks, the stock exchange market of Uganda is being limited by liquidity. We do not have active participation from key institutions.
But we do have, for example, NSSF almost
Yes.
having the 50% investment
Yes.
in the stock market. Isn't that a big institution?
That is a big institution. But I want you to look at one thing. The NSSF does regional equities. So you will find that the majority of the portfolio is in the Kenyan market.
That's true.
Because of it performing more than us, the economy performs way more than us. You're having a lot of investment banks. These are some of the institutions that pull in a lot of liquidity. I think even the only investment bank that we have in Uganda, sadly, is Citibank.
Small as it may appear.
Exactly.
The only investment bank.
Yes, big. They play a very big role because they pull in large sums of money that facilitate different projects, mainly in the private sector.
When you talk about institutions,
Yes, please.
Why is it important for institutions to be interested in investing in, for example, the stock market? Because, like you mentioned, for example, NSSF,
Yes.
very big investor across the
Yes.
region in East Africa. You see them investing in Dar es Salaam, in Nairobi, and also here, partly in Uganda.
Yes.
But you see, besides them, we still have just a few individuals who buy shares in MTN, buy shares in CIPLA, and they take control of the market.
Yes.
How can we get to attract more institutions, and what institutions actually are to be attracted towards investing in the market?
Okay. I do believe one thing that top management of companies must counter is the fact that you must diversify your portfolios. It does not matter what you do. As long as the company is running up and running, you must find a way on trying to build your cash inflow streams. Now, if you are having institutions such as investment banks, such as commercial banks, such as different asset managers in the country, and even different private organizations, if they are not coming into this market, it's because it's not attractive enough. It's not generating money. When you look at the rate of return on the existing financial assets that are being traded, especially in the stock exchange market, which is the best example that we can have, you'll see that it is alarming. It is absurd. Let us pay attention to New Vision. I think ever since New Vision listed, we have just been having
The
downtrend.
price, yeah, goes.
It has just been losing value. So I want you to try to think about what do you think those investors feel. They cannot really advocate for more active involvement in this market. So
Let's even talk about MTN.
Yes.
MTN listed on their initial public offer
Yes.
at 200 shillings.
Yes.
It has never hit that price on the secondary market.
Yes, of course.
Looking at it from last year's performance,
Yes.
they have been going down. And
Yes.
we come to encourage people to invest, but
Yes.
then you're like, where are they going to put their money when
Yes.
they're seeing red figures
Yes.
all over?
I really challenge, with all the due respect, because these are some of the companies that have held the economy at large, and they have really supported different causes in the country. But it's the duty of some of these companies that come out and publicly list to give out information on some of the feasible projects that they're going to be having. I'll give you an example still on one of the global companies. Last year, they had a manufacturing plant that was developed in Berlin to try to increase efficiency in the supply of these electric vehicles in Europe. But they knew with this development, it's going to attract institutional investors to come into the market to try to buy aggressively that specific stock because of such developments. So if MTN is coming out and it's saying, you know what, you have a possibility of no longer being a customer but also an owner, though of course it's kind of funny, of course, that you're going to be an owner of MTN. Can they feasibly come out and give some information to the public? Okay, that these are some of the developments we're going to have. If we are able to pull in such funds, we're going to invest them in such developments so that you can be rest assured that the stock will perform. Okay, because one of the questions is if they were able to pull in such funds from the general public, which I can only imagine how much they were able to pull in, because I can only give them congratulations on the fact that they were able to find a very good solution, which was to do with how people are able to buy. They were able to solve.
USSD
exactly.
Code. Yeah.
That is the smartness with some of these institutions. They know the market. They know the market. And I believe sorry that I'm going to go off topic on this. One of the key limiting factors for growth and sustainability of companies that are being started by Ugandans. You know, Ugandans are very good at starting companies. They know how to start. But the companies rarely beat a 6-month period. They collapse. Reason being that we do not look at certain things such as these. Can we have a trail on some of this information? Try to follow through on some of the revenue streams for the company. Give out such information to potential investors. We have improper record keeping. We hire staff that are incompetent for different positions, especially in the accounting bit and the finance bit. Companies fail there. They do not follow through on their tax obligations, and they end up paying fines that lead them out of business. So, companies that come out and publicly list, can we kindly have some of this information for the general public? Can we have the government mainly try to intervene more into these financial markets? The government itself can provide the liquidity. It has the power to provide the liquidity, just as the global markets. The government can go through the central banks that have the responsibility of developing different monetary policies that can either support some of the things that are in place in the economy. Yes, please.
Well, we are going to take a very quick breather, right, Gloria? Yes, and we'll come back very shortly after this. Now, Mr. Chikomeko, you put up very strong points here: regulation and lack of liquidity.
Yes.
Now, when you look at, for example, I don't know why MTN keeps coming up, but why MTN listed most probably is due to the UCC's regulation, or what the act was amended, the UCC Act, that at least every telecommunications company was required to list 20% of its stake. And I think a couple of other telecommunications companies were actually on the way to actually list. But it seemed as though it was because of that amendment that actually MTN got to list. It wasn't because MTN really wanted to go out there and trade their shares, or had some vision of like, if we invest, we're going to have this and this, but more of the regulation. So what is the regulator not doing right? If at all we are to put things really clear here, that is stifling the market, kind of putting us backwards instead of actually propelling us forward and attracting especially those institutional traders within our market. My name is Anthony, and I am with
Nampija Gloria.
Yes, and we are, of course, Financial Markets. We're coming back very briefly after this quick breather. Stay with us.